So hey guys, it's Archie from Harshes Days. Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing yet another book review. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Whale Eyes by James Robinson. Before I get into this book, I really do want to talk about the author because I feel like that adds a lot of context to understanding the story and why the message that this book shares with the world is so important, how beautiful it is. The author James Robinson is an Emmy award-winning short filmmaker and author. He did make a short film called Whale Eyes, which is what the book is based on. Highly recommend you go watch that short film before you read the book, because this is one of those books in which the actual visual representation, like the short film, is much more elaborate and more refined than the book is. The book really is just a written and illustrated version of the short film. So I feel like if you kind of just go explore who James Robinson is, all the amazing other work that he's done, and his other content, I feel like just going into that sort of rabbit hole really gives you more insight on who James Robinson is and why this story is really special compared to the other works that he's done. To really get into why this book is special, we start off on the outside. Note that things aren't like they always as they seem on the outside, but this is just an exception. All right, so the cover is, as you can see, just a single eye. If you really pay attention, there's a person in there and he's looking that way. The eye kind of looks as if it's looking that way, and on the back there's just a normal eye. What you really have to do is kind of open the cover up, and as you can see, one eye is normal, like it's looking straight up, and the other one is kind of looking that way at the same time, simultaneously. This is referring to a condition called exotropia. This is a medical condition which a lot of people suffer from, in which one eye looks like any other regular eye, but the other one kind of acts as a lazy eye. It kind of gazes off into the other direction and doesn't look the same as the other eye. It's not their fault. It's not like they did something to their eyes, but it's just a condition that they're born with. And it makes it hard to do a lot of normal activities like tying your shoelaces or reading a book or writing or spelling, stuff like that. This is a condition that the author did have growing up. And this book, Whale Eyes, is about him growing up and how different the world was when he went through this condition. The author uses the metaphor whale eyes to kind of give this ancient, big, yet simple vibe to the book. Whale eyes are ginormous. They're not very, that is not something that whale's eyes aren't the first thing that you think of when you see a whale, or when you think of a whale. It's not the first thing that comes to your mind. It's mostly how it shoots water out of its back or something like that. But whale eyes really is a metaphor, saying that you have to look past a person to really, kind of get deep into who they are and all the different aspects about them. The book itself is written in a very interactive way with illustrations by Brian Reed. The book is a memoir about seeing and being seen, if I didn't mention that earlier. The illustrations that Brian Ray did on this book are absolutely phenomenal. Gives you this kind of interactive vibe to the book when you read it. The author kind of takes you through what exotropia really feels like. He really, uses certain visual elements, like asking you to flip the book, or telling you to read it, turn upside down when you read it, stuff like that, to really give you that vibe, really give you that experience of doing something that you aren't normally used to read the book. It's really, really thought provoking, and it kind of I want to say it is one of those books that informs you about other warmth out there in the world, and that you really just have to, go get it, do your own thing. The book itself, like I said, is interactive, and it kind of asks you to make a choice. Is this how you want to read the book? How are you going to do it? Are you going to turn it this way? Are you going to turn it that way? What choices are you going to make today? It starts off really just, you making choices in the book. But if you think about it outside the box, it's you making choices in the world. The book is a memoir about being seen and seeing. It really makes you understand that things aren't always what they seem like, and that you have to, hold up, know the full story, or understand, put yourself in the other person's shoes to really understand what's going on. And I think that's a really beautiful message. The way I can't do justice to how amazing this book is written, but what I can do is recommend this book to you guys. I would recommend this book for ages 12 and up. And if I had to give it like a star rating, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm not giving it a full 5 because there is some aspects of the book that you really have to do some research to understand. So, I mean, not a lot of young readers are really prepared to, explore outside of the book to really understand what the book is about. So that's why I give it a 4.5. But if you come into reading that book with all that knowledge, it's definitely a 5 out of 5. This is a Newbery Honor Medal contender for this year, which is the reason that I picked this book up. Among all the other contenders, personally, this is my number one right now. This is running number one in my list. And I say ages 12 and above because there is some complex language in this book, and there are some social concepts that might take mature young audiences to understand. And that's really why I would give it a 12 and above rating. But this is a good book for anyone who wants just a short read, just something to lighten your day. Tweens, teens, adults, highly recommended. Definitely go check the book out. And let me know what you think about the book. Thanks so much for your support, guys, and I hope you have a good day.